This is the story of nature's fury and the quest for the boots of the Crusader and Knights of the Nine. After finding the hidden basement in the Priory of the Nine and the cuirass within, we're tasked by Sir Amiel to retrieve the rest of the Crusader's relics, and so we speak to the spectres encircled inside the Undercroft, starting with Sir Juncan, who regales us of the story of the boots.
I wish to see you succeed where I failed. I was on the path to the boots of the Crusader, but died before I reached them. Do you wish to learn what little I know?
We can, of course, dismiss him, and he would say.
Then I shall await your return.
If instead we respond, no, please tell me more, he says.
I cannot tell you exactly how to find the boots, for that will be up to Kynareth. I can tell you to seek out her priests, though. West of the Imperial City, on the edge of the Great Forest, is a shrine. You will find them there, and they will tell you what you need to know.
So there's a shrine to Kynareth in the Great Forest we'd never happened upon before. So then we ask, what more can you tell us about the boots of the Crusader?
The boots are safeguarded by Kynareth herself. You must be tested and prove yourself worthy to acquire them.
But how are we deemed worthy by Kynareth, we wonder? We ask him further of the knights, and he replies.
The wars of men undermine the service of the Nine. Do not follow in our mistakes. May your sword strike true.
A cryptic response indeed. Do not follow in the steps of men and put our faith in the Nine, it seems. We then look around the circle and search for more clues about the boots, starting with Sir Gregory, who greets.
I am at your service, Commander.
What can you tell us about the boots of the Crusader?
The boots have been guarded by Kynareth herself for the longest time. Sir Juncan went after them and never returned. Walk with the Nine, Sir Knight.
Ominous words indeed. It should be noted that only a sparse few of the knights will tell you about each quest, so you have to go around the circle. For expediency's sake, I've cut through that, and will only speak to knights who give us more information about this specific quest. One of which is Sir Casimir, who wonders aloud.
When Sir Juncan died while questing after the boots, I mourned his loss. Now I wonder if perhaps it was a mercy that he left us when he did. Go with virtue.
And so we speak to the final Crusader, their leader, Sir Amiel, once more.
I am at your service, Commander.
Like the others, Sir Amiel further laments the Great War, saying,
Sir Juncan was lost attempting to find the gauntlets. At least he was spared from the tragedy of the Order's last days. May the Nine guide your way.
Learning all we can from the knights about the boots, our quest update saying, I've been instructed to find the Shrine to Kynareth in the Cyrodiil's Great Forest and speak with the priests there about the boots of the Crusader. After many hours riding in the forest, night falls upon us, and searching for a temple, we instead find Kynareth's shrine out in the open, tended to by a handful of priests. We then approach the imperial priestess Avita Vesnia, who questions,
What brings you to the Altar of Kynareth, my child?
We then admit we have come questing for the boots of the Crusader.
You would seek the holy relic Kynareth has bestowed upon the world. Then you must prove yourself worthy. Kynareth's creations guard her relic, and you must pass the test before you may be granted the boots.
We can then dismiss the statement saying, I'm not taking any test.
No? You would think yourself above Kynareth's design? Then perhaps you should not have come here at all.
Rethinking our strategy, we return and she says,
You return to Kynareth's altar. Have you changed your mind? Do you still seek the boots of the Crusader?
I've reconsidered. Tell me about this test.
I cannot say what it will be, for I do not know. Kynareth herself will decide in what manner you shall be tested. All I can do is direct you to the Grove of Trials and remind you to heed Kynareth's teachings. Fear and respect nature and all her creations.
Wait, what does fear and respect nature mean?
Indeed. Nature itself is Kynareth's domain. All its creatures are her wards. You would do well to remember this when it comes time for your test.
As cryptic as the Crusaders, we can then ask, well, at least point us in the direction of this grove.
Not far from here, to the west, nestled within the great forest, it is a place many would overlook. I warn you that it is unwise to take anyone with you. You should go there alone.
Okay, so I can't take a companion? Very well, I shall take this test.
Then proceed directly to the grove, as your test has begun. Kynareth may choose to guard you along the way. That is up to her. Good luck.
With that, our quest updates, but we pause to ask about the Altar of Kynareth.
You have been in the Chapel of Kynareth from the moment you stepped outdoors. Have you not felt her presence? We gather here to pay tribute to all of the blessings she bestows upon us.
Now, this shrine only appears in the DLC, and it's a nice touch having Kynareth's shrine in the outdoors. We can then ask a further question about the boots, and she says,
You must be tested by Kynareth before you are worthy of the boots.
Finally, we can ask Avita about rumours, and she will remark,
Imps. I hate 'em. Little buggers flitting around, tossing fireballs at you.
This is a somewhat humorous observation, as just to the south is Haynote Cave, where the player will find themselves when travelling here most of the time, and we were met by multiple imps who tried to have their way with us. I guess not all of Kyn's creatures are divine, hey?
Be seeing you.
Back to the task at hand, we cannot help but admire the beauty of Kynareth's shrine out in the open like some type of Daedric shrine with its worshippers. And so we next speak to the Redguard priest Stanet, who greets.
Well met.
What can you tell us of this shrine?
Where better to meet and pray to Kynareth than in the midst of her beautiful creations.
Agreed, though, like his counterpart, he doesn't seem to be fond of imps.
Imps? I hate 'em, little buggers flitting around, tossing fireballs at you. Farewell.
And last we speak to the Nord priest Jesper, who says,
Well met.
This Shrine of Kynareth sure is pretty outside, hey?
It simply wouldn't be right to build over Kynareth's works, simply so we could worship her. So our altar is here, in the chapel she has created. Goodbye.
If there is one thing that we have learnt as we head to the grove, is to pay deference to nature. Checking our map, we see Avita has marked its location just to the west, and our quest update saying, in order to be granted the boots of the Crusader, I must travel to a sacred grove in the Great Forest and be tested by Kynareth herself. We just hope there are no imps involved. It's not long before riding through the thick brush do we find a small cave in our quest update saying, I've reached the Grove of Trials. I shall have to wait and see what Kynareth has in store for me. Harvesting some of the nearby flora, we see a great boulder barring our entrance to the cave and wonder if we have to hack our way in as a part of the trial. Unfortunately, we made a fair bit of commotion, and the biggest bear we've ever seen rears up, letting out an enraged bellow at our trespassing, squaring up on us, and seemingly enraged by the sight of our Crusader's shield. As we slash the bear's exposed torso between its swipes, our quest updates with grim news and says, I have failed Kynareth's test, and shall have to continue to try again. Worse yet, a war of attrition truly begins. It's only after dozens of slashes with Sir Amiel's sword does the bear succumb to its wounds. Finally felling the divine creature, it seems our crime versus the divine has not gone unnoticed. With little recourse and hat in hand, we head back to Astiva at Kynareth's shrine, and she says upon our return,
Welcome again to the Altar of Kynareth.
Look, it seems we failed the test.
You return unsuccessful, but have involved yourself in other matters. Settle your combat and return to me then.
Unfortunately, killing the Great Bear can add to your infamy, and if your infamy is too high, you will not be able to complete the Crusader's quest. In fact, you will have to complete the pilgrimage to the 9 way shrines again. Perhaps taking pity on us, as she was about to be consumed by Kynareth's own beasts, we speak to Avita once more.
I see it on your face. You have failed the test. In her infinite grace and wisdom, Kynareth will have mercy on you and allow you to resubmit to her test. Return to the grove and try once more.
And so our journal updates informing us we are allowed to attempt Kynareth's trial once more. However, we sense this will be the extent of Kynareth's mercy. And so we ride due west and make our way to the cave with the boulder out front, and the quest updates as we wait Kynareth's trial for a second time. Unsure what to expect, we see a familiar great bear ambling towards us slowly. Thinking upon Avita's words, this time we make no attempt to attack as it rears up. However, the bear presses forward. Seeing an unwanted interloper at the sacred grove, we hold our shield steadfast as it begins to attack. And remember, the helm of the Crusaders spells serene beauty, calming the wild beasts. It's then our quest update saying, a bear attacked me in the sacred grove, but I made no attempt to fight back. A cave has been revealed, and it would seem the boots of the Crusader are waiting inside. It's then the Forest Guardian lets out a docile growl of acknowledgement and turns to leave. Unburdened by the boulder, we see an intricate door that leads to Kynareth's Grotto. Entering, we see we're inside a small cave lined with various fungi. And as we make our way into the small opening, we see a Spriggan, miraculously, that does not attack us on sight. In fact, it stands as a pair guarding the boots of the Crusader by Kynareth's divine will. Suspect there is a further trial, we tepidly approach the boots and hesitantly pick them up, and a quest update saying that we've acquired the boots of the Crusader. Equipping them, we see we've been endowed with +2 to restoration, as well as a spell called Woodland's Grace, though we are unsure at what this blessing would impart. Leaving the grotto and the trials once more, we have one last look at Kynareth's door before heading back to let Sir Juncan know of our success. Dismounting our trusty white steed after our long journey, we head inside the Priory to be shocked, seeing a familiar face. Avita? But what is one of Kynareth's priests doing here, we question. Approaching her, she explains.
Well met, Sir Knight. We meet again. I am here to join your order, having received a divine vision from Kynareth herself. I have been shown that to protect all Kynareth's creations, I must take up your cause and be willing to lay down my life for you. So here I am. I have no doubt that our good works will be talked of in the eras to come.
From here, we have two distinct options and say, I'm sorry, you're not worthy.
I see. I will not be deterred, so I shall remain here in the hopes that you change your mind.
As we contemplate our decision, we begin to pace around the Priory and realize that it's been cleaned up. Avita has been quite busy. There are now beds in the West Wing. For someone who lived outside, she sure is adamant about making this work.
I await your permission to join the Order.
Reconsidering, we welcome her to the Order.
Thank you. I shall serve the Order to the best of my ability. I must change into something that suits a knight. Please excuse me.
Making herself quite comfortable and at home, Avita then departs down into the armory in which we can follow her. Following close behind, Avita is already dressed in battle armament and greets.
Greetings, Sir Knight.
It's then she explains the effects of the boots and Woodland's Grace further.
I am pleased to see that you have them. It is said that the wearer has the blessing of Kynareth upon him, and will not come to harm from creatures of the forest.
So animals in the forest ignore us? That is quite a boon. We then further press Avita about joining the knights, but she simply states,
It is an honour to serve under you, Crusader. Farewell.
Leaving the newly knighted Sir Avita to her duties, we then head to the Priory Undercroft and speak to Sir Juncan once more, and he exclaims,
You are an asset to your order. You have claimed the boots, and for this I am grateful. Walk with the 9, Sir Knight.
And with that, our quest for the Crusader's boots is finally finished.